exactly. All right then.
Hello, Bulent. So nice to have you on the show. You're most welcome.
Dr. Mutoko, thanks a lot. I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much for having me for this interview. I hope it's going to be a great session.
Definitely so. How is Turkey today?
Well, Turkey is, I believe, not so much different than most of the countries elsewhere. We're going through a special time, if you like. Everybody is not forced, but advised to stay home and work from home. So it's a new kind of not only doing business, but living inside, and it's changing a lot of things from our daily lives to how we're doing business as well. And we're seeing so many different things. It's more dynamic than ever. There are many business ideas, and along with those, there are like some disappointing news as well, in terms of the health studies or the news about when and how things are going to be back to normal. But we're doing good in Turkey. I would tell you that.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. I got a recommendation that you have to interview Bulent in Turkey. He has something for your audience. I said, Vesna, thank you for this recommendation. So I'm sure our audience are very, very excited to hear from you. Can you tell us who is Bulent? Where have you come from? I mean, anything that you feel comfortable to share with our audience.
Of course, I would love to do that. For starters, I have business experience more than like 20 years. It's close to 23, 24 years. So I've started working in the early 2000, I would say, late 90s. And I started working in the retail area. I was educated in industrial engineering in Turkey, then worked for a couple of years in retailing in Turkey. And then I moved to United States to earn my MBA degree. So there I had, I started to develop the understanding of the globalization, how businesses can run across the borders, what does it mean to do online business and whatnot. And after earning my MBA degree, I started as a business consultant. I worked for global management consulting companies. A.T. Kearney, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, or some of those to name. I came back to Turkey. I worked for, a long time as a management consultant. And basically, being a management consultant means a number of different things. So you get to work with many private and public companies, organizations, if you like. You get to learn from those companies. You provide them with insights of what's happening elsewhere around the world so that they can, increase their profits. They can invent new ways of generating business or how to cut costs, increase their productivity in terms of, cost effectiveness or labor, or human resources, empowerment, effectiveness. And I have kind of excelled in terms of many business skills. Well, business planning, strategy design, strategy development, commercial due diligence are among those things. And I have done quite a number of restructuring studies for not only private companies, but government organizations as well. I have worked extensively for Ministry of Energy in Turkey, Privatization Administration, and many other ministries. And these taught me certain things, which I believe that I'm using nowadays in my businesses as well. So as a business consultant, you go into a company and you're kind of seduced by what they're doing at that time, because most of the things are new, and you complete your project and leave the company in on average 5 months time, mostly at most 1 year time, and then you're exposed to another industry or another client. And this makes you, you know, generate something for your own. So if you have slightest, you know, signs of entrepreneurship in your bones, so to speak, then you're being seduced by leaving your daily work, professional work, and go and create something for your own. And after like 20 years, I decided that it was my time. And I have developed this business startup with a partner of myself, which we named Sports and Nerds. The brand that we found was Sports and Nerds. And basically what we're doing is like we're aggregating sports centers and activity centers in the country under one brand, Sports and Nerds, and we're providing membership to corporate employees, basically. Our members can use a huge network whenever they like, however they like. So say there is the sports center close to your home, you can swim there in the morning, and then afternoon or the next day you can use another activity center just to shoot some pistols. I mean, that's one of the activities. Or you can do yoga, you name it. So there are a lot of activities to choose from. And the price is affordable. So this is not only providing affordable and, you know, and access to a huge network. Of course, this is the main idea, but in a sense, we are helping Turkey in its fight with the chronic diseases as well. That's how I want to see it, because, you know, as the age of the population increases, the government is going to need a lot of funds to cover the costs, you know, to handle the chronic diseases costs, like heart diseases, hypertension problems, dietary things, you know, obesity, if you like. And the best prevention is like, I mean, of course you can deal with these when it, you know, arises, when it happens, but it might be best for you to prevent these before happening. And with a simple exercise of like 30 minutes a day can help you prevent this. And by providing access to these sporting facilities, we're providing this membership to, you know, many people at an affordable rate. And I'm happy to say that more than 50% of our client base has stepped foot in a sports center for the first time with our membership, because it was not affordable for them to go and sign for a membership. But now its corporation is providing sports centers membership at an affordable cost, or no cost at all for the employee, I mean, and they're willing to use it. So we are doing, I mean, we were on a, you know, social responsibility journey as well. That's what I told. But of course, this new, you know, new COVID-19 virus case, which affected us all over the world, has stopped, you know, sports centers from working. So, I mean, of course, we had to freeze our membership service for a limited time, I hope. But we don't know when it's gonna start. So it kind of, you know, forced us as the founders of the startup to look for other alternatives, what we can do. We don't want to stand in our, you know, homes waiting for this Corona days to get over. So that would be a mistake that we told. And when you look at the world, I mean, I have a lot of friends, not only from Turkey, you know, investors, entrepreneurs, all over Europe, all over, you know, United States, even in Asia. They're looking for new ways to invent how to, you know, service the people who are staying at home. So what we thought was to provide these people with health alternatives or sports alternatives while they're still staying at their homes, right? That's why recently we have launched another startup. It's called yogaila.com. And with Yoga Ila, what we're doing is we are providing online, real-time fitness, yoga, Pilates, meditation classes to the people who are staying at home. And what's differentiating us from, some competitors, I would say, is that we're providing this interactive classes. So it's really close to physical, group classes. You can see your instructor. He can see you if you allow him to see you, meaning open your camera. And he can correct you. He can give you pointers while you're doing the exercise. And it makes our Yoga Ila experience even better. And, people, that's why people want to train with us or, prefer us. So the best part of this solution is that it is completely, it's completely possible to provide the service not only in Turkey, but elsewhere. It's something to do with the content. Right now, it's only in Turkish, but for a limited time. We are right now developing the English version, if you like. So even if we have, people, English-speaking people in Botswana, so to speak, they will be able to join Yoga Ila, register as a member, and start using our services. Because the yoga classes will be given in English. And right now, I would love to say that, I have members from United, Arab Emirates, United States, UK, elsewhere in, Europe. These are mostly Turkish people, Turkish-speaking people, because we are still providing classes in Turkish. But it is possible, just like that, overnight, making this a global business. So that's why we're really excited. And in almost all of my time right now is being spent on this. I'm spending a lot of time on how to develop the business, develop the client base right now. And I'm putting all of my experience, which I, developed while working as a business consultant, into this right now. So there are different number of functions, like digital marketing is a key, cost management, and IT is a huge portion of this, because, in order to provide the service, you have to have a seamless information technologies backbone, not only internet, but the payment systems and whatnot. If you are unable to deliver the seamless solution, then no matter what your intentions are, even if they are honorable and social responsibility or whatever based, if you cannot deliver the promise that you're giving to your clients, members, then they will start looking for other alternatives. So it's key that we provide, high satisfaction in terms of customer experience. And all of my time is being spent on this right now.
Wow.
In a nutshell.
This is amazing. I was just enjoying it. So don't worry about my quietness. What I've realized is that on Zoom, during my earlier interviews with other people, what would happen is, like, you are talking, then I go, wow. Then when somebody's watching the video, my wow will be disturbing the flow. So that's why I keep quiet completely and just enjoy.
I totally understand. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, Bulent, you have an MBA.
That's right.
Some entrepreneurs believe that school is not important.
Well, I would say yes and no. Actually, all of my answers, Dr. Mutoko, is, as a good business consultant, all of my answers is almost always, it depends.
It depends.
It depends. It's so circumstantial. I have met some entrepreneurs who doesn't have like good schooling experience, but had that great idea and a great team, coupled with investment, and they have turned their business idea into like gems. It's working like magic. So one can argue that, yeah, school is not important at all. But On the other hand, schooling gives you some other aspects. You're being exposed to different ideas from all over the world, and you're learning about the cases, those case studies. I mean, those are the things that I remember from my MBA experience. What happened while they were founding Walmart? What were the problems, or what were the implications of that internet bubble in 2000, early 2000? I was there when it was happening in the United States. So it was a real good experience for me to get those, and I wouldn't change that for anything. And on top of that, well, being an entrepreneur and coming up with a startup, network is really important. I mean, because you're going to need some people to provide you with some, not only mentorship, but some business ideas, or, on hands support as well. So there you meet with people, your peers, and you get to use their wisdom all your life. So schooling is not only providing you knowledge or education, textbook knowledge, which is good as well, but it's providing you with network as well. So that's why it really depends on what you're trying to do, or, something else.
Wow, thank you. I see Vesna writing, great, yes, networking and relationships. Actually, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of Borut Pelikan and Vesna Major Pelikan. These are people who are very close to my heart. They're in Tenerife, Spain. See what technology can do. Vesna and Borut are the people that actually recommended that I should have Bulent Ozan on the show. So Vesna and Borut, thank you so much. We appreciate your presence, and God bless you. We can see from what you are saying, Bulent, that you have so much experience, as a management consultant, having worked with those big enterprises, and I see how you have been in business, and then when the challenges came, you were able to move quickly to go online. What do you think is the mindset that an entrepreneur or a business leader should have in a time such as this? Should they be sleeping, waiting for COVID-19 to disappear?
Oh goodness, no. I mean, this is not a time to sleep at all, Dr. Mutoko. The thing is, if you're already working for a big corporation, even if you have those entrepreneurial genes, you might have the disadvantage of being slow, or having a comfort zone. So that might be something to look upon. And as a, I'm not going to say anything about my success, or it's for you all to decide. Of course, I feel successful, and I'm trying to accomplish a lot of things. But it's not for me to say that I'm doing it right now. So time will tell. However, one of the first things that I'm saying as an entrepreneur is you need to have all the skill set required to come up with a good business. What I'm trying to say is, well, I have some impeccable, senses in terms of commercial ideas, commercialization, maybe marketing and whatnot, but I can be failing as a, IT guy, but information technologies is most of the time the backbones of a good idea nowadays, especially these times that we're passing through. It's important for you to have a digital solution and be able to deliver it online wherever in the world, or to the segment that you're targeting specifically. So you cannot do without a good IT knowledge or enablement. So it might be the case that you don't have that in your bones or in your skill set, but you can team up with another person who has it, right? So that's why teaming up is really important for a good startup. And most of the topics for the requirement is like, of course, IT, financial capabilities, marketing and commercial skills. These are the main financial management, you know, the legal aspects and whatnot. Those can be outsourced, but for a good business, you have to have the commercial skills, the sales skills, or the IT skills, and the already entrepreneur for the people who are already in the entrepreneurial world, some of them are shocked right now because what they were doing, you know, before COVID is completely stopped. I mean, overnight, their business has stopped. They cannot invoice anymore. So say restaurants or businesses who are catering to restaurant businesses or tourism sector or some of the service sectors, they're completely stopped. So what should they do? I mean, should they wait and sleep until this COVID, passes? Of course not. They should look for other ways of, they should pivot their business, if you like. For example, I'm going to give an example from restaurant business. There's this brand, a startup, Fine Dine. They were doing they were providing digital menus for the restaurants, but it was a physical business because they had to be in the restaurants. They're providing restaurants with tablets if they don't have already, and they are digitizing all of the menu for the restaurant so that the clientele who are visiting the restaurants can use the tablets. So that was a good idea, and they managed to take it global in a short period of time. But when the restaurants were closed, so their business has died as well. So what they do, they digitized the whole business, or provided another alternative for the restaurants to provide takeaways with their fast, flexible, highly customized menus. If they're not in a already existing platform, such as like global, I mean, it's a global thing. They're providing meals. If the restaurant is not on that platform, they can convert their business, digitize their business, and cater the people who are staying at home with Fine Dine solution. Maybe not overnight, but in 2 or 3 days time. So they start invoicing again. On the other hand of the spectrum, well, there are some businesses, loyalty programs, who are servicing to these types of closing businesses as well. What they're doing is, well, they couldn't find a new way to change their business. However, they have provided some, future-focused memberships. They're saying, well, pay for our services right now at a considerably, discounted price, and then we will be able to cater you when all things go to normal. Even doing this, providing your members with solutions, tell them like 2 things. Well, we are here, we are not going anywhere, so trust us, and we're still, being able to provide you with alternatives. We know that you're our customers, our loyal customers, and you will be able to get our products, our services at a discount right now. So those are, really minor, small things that you might do, but nobody should sleep during these times. I mean, these are the examples that can be done in terms of pivoting and whatnot, but one can completely change its business and go into different areas as well. I mean, I would love to give some examples in terms of the opportunities arising in the market. Say, of course, online, expenditure is increasing. Mostly I have had some notes for this conversation specifically. When I look at the online expenditure numbers, of course, supermarket expenditures, healthcare expenditures, cosmetics, even the stationery expenditure has increased more than 100%. When you look at these numbers are specifically for Turkey, but I'm sure that it's more or less the same all over the place. So they can start, you know, thinking about how they can get a share of this. It's not only, you know, generating the product. I mean, they can do something about the delivery system. They can provide something for the payment systems. These NFC-based payments that you can pay with your phone. It can be applied to many different, you know, industries. So these are all providing some opportunities. But last but not least, what I want to caution our viewers in terms of the opportunities is about the government funds. It would be wise to talk about this even more, because I believe that most of the opportunities are going to arise from, you know, governments who are willing to increase, jumpstart or kickstart, if you like, their economies again after the COVID effects has passed away. So it would be best for us to spend a couple of, you know, minutes on this one.
Beautiful. I really like that. So basically what you are saying is every business leader and every entrepreneur and every potential entrepreneur, this is the time to work very hard, researching what are the possibilities, what are the challenges that people are going through, what are their potential customers going through, what could be done to solve, you know, problems right now and after COVID-19. It's time to think and strategize and re-strategize.
Exactly, exactly.
If anything, this is the time to work harder than ever before, because this is the new normal and we are not used to the new normal.
Definitely. Listen, I mean, I was going through some statistics, and most of the people, actually 74% of the people, and this is a number not from Turkey, but from Europe, 74% of the people are saying that, well, we are not going to attend to any entertainment activities or sporting events, as you know it, before an vaccination is found for COVID. So this is a new normal. This is not going to pass really fast. I mean, there are some countries who are telling their, you know, citizens that, well, yeah, we are going back to normal in a couple of months, most. It's going to be all normal. No, it's not. The trust issue is there. And I'm going to tell one more thing. The trust issue is not only providing some new ways for the digitalization or the online businesses. This is big. What I'm going to say is big. It can provide opportunities in the traditional manufacturing area as well. Why? Because China was handling most of the manufacturing for all over the place. And now Walmart or Carrefour is not going to provide, you know, made in China stamped products for their clientele in US, in continental Europe. So they already started looking for different alternatives, different manufacturing alternatives. And as a country, if you can provide flexible, well, I'm not going to say cheap, but because China was really cheap, so it might be hard to match that in terms of the workforce and whatnot, but affordable, I would say, and flexible workforce are going to be, and scalable, of course. Those are going to be keys for grabbing those traditional manufacturing roles as well. So people, the entrepreneurs, should not only think in the ways of digitalization or online provision, so they can start looking for the traditional manufacturing opportunities as well as a long game, you know?
And I like the fact that you said that entrepreneurs and business leaders and potential entrepreneurs and probably everybody who has lost their job or who is likely to lose their job, they should start thinking of, or maybe following the news of their particular government to say, what is the government saying? What is likely to happen? What funds are going to come out? What opportunities are going to come out? For example, maybe the government might be saying, look, we are going to make sure supermarkets are going to rely on local farmers, you know, and as a potential farmer or as a farmer, you should be thinking, what will I be providing? So that which funds can I go for, and what's my market and things like that, not to sleep and just to be relaxing the whole day.
Definitely.
Please go ahead and say more about that.
Okay. This is an excellent point, Dr. Mutoko, because it's not a question of might. Actually, governments are already announcing their funding programs all over the place. I have a note saying that United Kingdom has just announced like 12 billion pounds funding for the healthcare system.
Right.
So in Turkey, I'm of course closely looking at the government funds or the supports, and it's being provided through different agencies. Say there are like development agencies who are targeting certain cities or provinces, if you like, and those are providing funds as well. Just this last week, development agency in Istanbul, as you know, Istanbul is one of the biggest metropoles in the world, like with 16, that is 16 million people living in the city. So it has a development agency of its own, and it's announced 50 million Turkish liras just for 3 months period. And there are many other funds coming after this, specifically dealing with the COVID effects. I mean, of course, and what they are funding, we have to look at that. So there are like most of these funds are short-term focused, so to speak. So if you already have some, capabilities, skills in your arsenal through yourself or through your team, then it's wonderful. You can exploit these funds. You can apply for them right away. What they're looking for is some prevention methods from the virus. Some aid equipment, if you like ventilators, masks and that kind of stuff, and this requires some kind of manufacturing capabilities as well. But the best part is these funds are not limited to these, because not everybody has these manufacturing capabilities or the R&D capabilities in order to come up with solutions. So they are targeting and they are funding business ideas that are supporting the social welfare of the people staying at home. Because, well, as a person or with my family, we are not directly affected by the virus, thank God. I mean, maybe it's going to happen, I don't know when, but right now we're not affected. But we are really taking a toll with the psychological effects of staying at home, So that's why if you come up with an idea, so to speak, to relieve this psychological effects, provide people with entertainment opportunities or healthy, solutions. And by the way, my latest startup, Yoga Ila, is exactly doing this. They are providing physical and mental, fitness. So we are fighting this psychological effects as well. Hence, we are, eligible for such a fund ourselves. So that's why I'm really encouraging entrepreneurs to go out and have an eye, for these funds, not only in their country, by the way. Say European Union has developed different portals for supporting these developments, and there are some forums where entrepreneurs, investors, and all sorts of people from the business point of view, business leaders, if you like, strategists or the investors, they're talking about what can be done or what's being done in other countries that can be repeated or copied in the other countries. So they can, I'm not going to steal, they can borrow that idea and they can test it for their country. And then they can generate the market for itself. Maybe their government doesn't know anything about that. But if somebody else is doing that, then somebody else is, conducting the tests, which is, really valuable for that other country. They can use the results. If it's successful, it can be replicated in their country. And as the, market leader or the first mover, they can solely, benefit from those what's happening there. So that's why I'm encouraging people to go and look beyond their countries. Of course, it's important for them to select the ideas which can be applied in their countries. However, to have a wider spectrum of vision so to speak, they should be looking to Europe, United States, and mostly I would say Korea or Singapore, because that's most of the high-tech ideas are coming from.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. And what I'm seeing is that from what you said earlier, which makes a lot of sense in terms of networking and creating useful relationships, somebody should not just sit and say, what can I do? I don't have capital, or maybe I don't have ideas, or you have an idea, but you don't have the money. Think of collaborating. Who can you collaborate with so that you can do something? So it's more about how much time we are going to spend thinking, strategizing, and so on.
That's one of the key things, Dr. Mutoko. Dr. Mutoko, I'm gonna emphasize this, and no matter how much time we spend on this, it's not going to be enough. I'm sure that you have met all sorts of people, all sorts of entrepreneurs from different age groups or different backgrounds in your lifetime, and most of them are kind of worried, if somebody else steals their idea. Well, they're thinking about something. It might be a great idea, but they don't want to share this idea with anybody because they're afraid somebody is going to steal it. Well, I'm not saying that nobody's going to steal it. Go ahead and freely talk about it. I'm not just saying that, but if you do not share your ideas with people you can trust, for example, you're one of the business leaders, and I'm really grateful to Vesna and board so that they have connected me with you, and now you can be one of my mentors. If I'm thinking about something that can be done in Africa, so to speak, I would come directly to you first to get your thoughts on the subject. If you provide me with certain aspects, insights, then it would help me with a great deal. And that's most of the entrepreneurs are missing that. I'm acting as a mentor in some of the incubation agencies in Turkey. We are trying to help the entrepreneurs here. I'm seeing these young minds, flooded with ideas, and they're coming and asking me about, their business model, operational model. As a business consultant, I've developed so many models, working, not working, that kind of thing, and I can easily see what they're doing is wrong or missing a point. They should need this or that, and moreover, they can get that help from this person whom they don't know, but I can connect them, So they need this kind of facilitation as well, and it can increase their journey really tremendously, I would say. So that's why entrepreneurs should seek help, of course, from I would say eligible parties. That's why there are like digital platforms, if you like, world-renowned platforms. And I believe that almost everybody has these platforms physically or online in their countries as well. So they should look for these mentorships, incubation agencies. They can get some great help there.
Thank you so much. I think you have mentioned something very important. As we normally say, a mentor is like a ladder that helps you to go, or maybe we could say an elevator. Imagine you want to go to floor number 21 and you decide to go walking, and somebody just opens an elevator, they stand, they click a button, in a few minutes or seconds, they are in floor number 21. Both of you will get to floor 21, but the amount of energy and sweat and time is never the same. Because a mentor will help you to avoid certain pitfalls. And, a mentor will help you to grow faster. They introduce you to people that you would probably never have, met, and they can give you ideas and skills and competencies that you would never have gotten. So I think it's a big opportunity that any one of us who wants to be successful, we need to have mentors. whether in business or in family or in anything, in health, you need somebody who takes you there, who holds your hand, and you grow faster than trying to do things by yourself.
I wouldn't have said any better. Definitely.
Now, being a management consultant of your caliber, I'm sure you also have a word for business leaders. You know, some business leaders have got 100, 200, 300 employees, and at this juncture, this is one of the hardest moments. What advice do you have for those kind of leaders?
Well, actually, I had the chance of having, you know, teams of like close to 100, I would say. I led those types of big teams in my professional life. And yes, I know a lot of people who are responsible for, you know, 200 people as employees, or even more than that. Right now, they're going through a really rough patch because most of their business decisions are clouded. I'm sorry to say, but it is the fact. It's clouded by, you know, cost adversaries or cost aspects or cash flow problems that they're having. Most probably they're not generating enough income, less invoicing and whatnot, but the main chunk of the costs is still, you know, staying there. Sometimes personal costs, you know, accounts up to 70% of the whole cost, and it's huge. So mostly right now, governments all over the place. I know that Turkish government is doing that. UK government is doing that. Even Singapore, I heard from one of my friends living there, is doing that. And I suspect all other governments are thinking about this if they didn't start doing that already. They're providing some social security supports per employee. So they should go ahead and, you know, apply for those, for starters. That way they can decrease their, you know, existing costs by half, I would hope. And then they would seize this period as investing in their personnel's, you know, capacity, increasing their capacities. They can provide online courses, financial courses. I mean, financial eligibility is really important. And most of the people are lacking really important skills in terms of, like, you know, what is the exchange risk? What is hedging? What is options and futures? I mean, those are important for trading, not only for trading, even if you're not in trading business, even if you're doing like manufacturing, you still have those risks in terms of commodity pricing. If you can, you know, procure your commodities with an option, then you are hedging your risks, currency risks, and the other things. So these employers should start investing capacity buildups for their employees. And this is going to give a message to their employees as well. Look, we are going through you know, bad times, but I want you to believe in me. I want you to trust me. I'm still investing in you because you're important for me. I know that you're going to make a difference when everything goes back to normal. So I want you to be a better employee, yes, but be a better person. And this is going to definitely increase the loyalty of that employee as well. They should.
Beautiful. I see Vesna posted there. Is it an opportunity to increase employee loyalty during such a time as this? And I think you have actually touched on that. If you as a business leader show interest in your team during a time of a crisis, if you develop them or help them to develop during a crisis, and even just, you know, to try and address some of their emotions, for them to know that you are there. You are like a driver, you know, as a business leader, you are like a driver. Some business leaders have actually been doing well face to face. You know, they made sure that they are there for their teams. But now that people are staying away from each other, the business leader is nowhere to be found. and it causes the team to be worried what's happening. Unfortunately for some business leaders, they had already created a distance, even when it was supposed to be face-to-face communication. So it becomes difficult for them right now that there's social distancing, which is not a big issue. Everything can be learned. I think as business leaders, it's time right now to begin to talk to our teams regularly. You can talk with your team on MS Teams or on Zoom or Skype, whatever it is. Sometimes just to hold the phone and call one of your team members. Hello, how are you? How is this season treating you? Is there something I can help you with? Something like that. And we should do the same also for our clients, to make sure that our clients know that we are available for them. And I'm saying to people, this is the time to be helping as many people as possible. I heard you talking about corporate social responsibility. This is the time to do much more corporate social responsibility, because all of us, naturally, we like and respect people who were there for us during hard times.
Definitely. Dr. Mutoko, I mean, this is really important. And you mentioned one thing, you can touch their emotions, you know, that's really key. I'm going to give one live example right now, right this very time, my wife is inside. She's attending a course, an online course provided by her company. And that course is nothing to do with their business at all. She's getting a online cooking course right now for 1 hour, and it makes her happy. And this is business hours, this is business hours, and it makes her happy. And she tells me that, well, she likes her bosses, employers, just because they're providing such a relieving exercise. So this is one live example. And as you said, you should be able to just pick up the phone, out of blue, call your clients, call your employees, just to ask how they're doing right now, if they need something from you. That is really important.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving us that example of your wife. I mean, who wouldn't want to work for leaders who are concerned about giving me some extra skills to benefit my life, like to cook better? Exactly. It has nothing to do with the job, but it's such a motivator. It's amazing.
Even I'm grateful for them, because I'm gonna have the end result in our kitchen. So
you see what I mean? It's not just affecting your wife, but it's affecting the whole family.
Yes.
All right, Bulent, thank you so much for everything. Now I want to give you this opportunity to just share with us everything else that you have from the questions that we had before the interview. I know you are a bit running behind time. I wouldn't want to cause you not to be able to go for the next meeting. I know you are a very busy man. Feel free to go ahead and share with us the rest of the information that you have.
Well, Dr. Mutoko, let me just say that it's been an honor to be here, and I mean it, definitely. It's wonderful to share any insights that I have, or about my expertise or regarding the future. So I want to go through my notes really quickly, just to see what's what can be said more. Well, I just want to give one more thing about becoming an entrepreneur. That might be really insightful for people, because people are looking for ideas. It's not easy to say, well, it's not something to do like this. Well, I want to be an entrepreneur, so what should I do? That it doesn't work like that. But when I look at the really good startups in my past, what's working, I have seen like two properties that were almost always existing in those good ideas, good startups. One is cutting the middlemen. If there are a lot of middlemen who are increasing the cost or making it more complex to reach a solution or service, and if you can decrease that with your startup, it works. And sometimes the disruption is the second thing. If you disrupt the market, for example, with Sports and Merits, my first startup, we have done that. We have disrupted how sports membership was being made, you know, or sold. If you disrupt the market in a good way, those work. And I would encourage you know, wannabe entrepreneurs to look for these things while they're testing their ideas, I would say. And other than that, you know, I guess we have, you know, walked through almost everything that, you know, we have decided. So again, I would love to say that I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much for, you know, talking to me. I'm honored to have met you. I have heard about you.
I'm so honored to have met you and to have listened to your fantastic ideas and things like that. Would you say there are some particular ideas you think people should explore right now? Obviously, I know it's not easy because you are in Europe and I'm in Africa. Others are in different continents. But just in general, what are some opportunities that you see opening up because of this COVID-19?
Well, most, you know, obvious opportunities are arising in the healthcare business, I would say. And when I say healthcare, I'm not solely talking about, you know, life science or provisional healthcare. That's something else. But because people are a bit hesitant to visit, you know, healthcare providers right now, like well, I had to go and see an eye doctor right now as a person, but I'm not willing to do that, you know. So if you can provide certain things such as, you know, online tests, where you can do, for example, I have heard about this idea. It's not still global, but it's a bright idea. The company just sends you a stick with certain, you know, parts on it. You just pee on it, all right? And then you get a picture of that stick and you upload it to their app. And by looking at the color changes and whatnot, they are telling you all sorts of stuff about the dehydration levels of your body, or calcium needs, or iron needs and whatnot. And it gives you something to do for the next week. Well, you should drink more water, you should start eating these and whatnot. And it gives you something to think about in terms of your health. So this is just a business idea, right? And this can be applied to many different topics. But people should not think only in the short term. If they're going to look for short-term opportunities, they would go and look in terms of logistics, because delivery is important right now. All right, you're digitizing your services, but not everything is, you know, digitally providable, so to speak. So you have to deliver things. So you can come up with solutions like area-based, or, you know, faster, that kind of thing. Faster payment solutions. These are important. And some communication devices or methods for vulnerable people or high-risk people, say elders. That can be something to look at in the short term. And in the long term, as I'm saying, manufacturing opportunities are going to be huge. So that's why right now it would be best to go and check what are the items that were being sold in huge quantities, because they are like small plastic, you know, parts, really, you know, easy to produce and traded in bulk numbers. So if you can come up with an, you know, the only thing you have to do is buy an extrusion machine, you know, have somebody to operate it and provide the raw materials. That's it. It would need some money, of course, but if you have the business, you can easily come up with it. So there are opportunities like this, and people have to look to the long game as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bulent. I really appreciate. I don't know whether Vesna or Borut would like to ask any question. They can kindly post something there and we will have you answer it. In the meantime, while they are posting their questions or their comments, what do you say to business consultants, management consultants during a time like this?
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's really hard to be a business consultant, Dr. Mutoko. Why I'm saying this is, well, before, making this conversation, I wanted to have a look at what they're doing right now, how they are responding to the situation. And I have seen that almost all of them, the big names, the big four, Ernst & Young, PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, and, McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, all the big names, they're producing reports, right? But on what can be done in specific sectors and whatnot. But what I'm seeing is sometimes the content of the material that they're providing is not there. They are suggesting the same stuff that they were saying right before. So it's kind of a disappointment in me because I was a business consultant who was working for them. However, I know that they should be having close contacts with their clients, especially big accounts that they're holding. And they have this global network of business consultants. Say they have projects in US, in tourism, right? And they have seen good idea, which is successful there, which is working in these COVID days. They can easily advise their clients in Botswana, in Nigeria, in Turkey, in Asia, wherever, about those things. So having a global network and a huge working, well-oiled, if you speak, working communication, data sharing, collaboration systems, they should be able to use it. They should knock doors of the big names or the clients. They shouldn't wait for those clients, for the employers to come to their door, because most of the time the employers don't know what's going on in elsewhere, in other countries. If something is working, you can easily take that, and it's going to generate business for your business consulting, practice as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I also think that consultants should be on the lookout to find out what are the problems affecting the country where they are. Like, for example, looking at what is the government struggling with, what are the large corporations struggling with, what are the, anybody else in the economy, the small, medium, and micro enterprise, what are they struggling with? Because when you know the problems that a potential client has and you have a solution for it, then you are a good consultant and you can be paid for it. Exactly. So instead of joining people who are discussing problems, they should be looking at problems with different spectacles to say what can be done. Because imagine right now, Bulent, if I were to come to you and I say, I went through your web. The other day I received an email from someone whom I don't even know. They say they have gone through my website and they liked what they saw. But if I need help with ABCD, they are willing to assist me. I was like, wow. Wonderful. This one is a smart consultant. He's not writing to me to say, do you need help? But they have actually taken the trouble to go to my website. They have shown interest in me without being paid, without talking to me, and they have seen the good things that are on my website, and they see the room for improvement. You see, it's easy for me to say, wait a minute, this guy looks serious. Maybe I should give them a chance, because they are actually, sometimes you are actually showing the person problems which they didn't know they have. Exactly. So I think consultants, it's time to wake up and actually look at the potential problems or problems that are there and come up with solutions.
Exactly. Exactly.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. I saw Vesna commenting that she's very grateful for the very valuable content that you have shared. So where do people access your services?
Well,
would you like to give them a website or whatever? Sure. Because I know people will ask me, so if we want Bulent, what do we do?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I would love people to go on my website and have a look and tell me if if they have an idea, if they have a critique at all, you know, positive or negative. So Yogaila is yogaila.com, YOGAILA.com is the my web address. Unfortunately, it's in Turkish, but it's really self-explanatory right now. And in a couple of weeks' time, it's going to be in English as well. So if they can work out Google Translate right now, they can still, right now, they can go as a, they can go and enjoy the services that we are providing. And on top of that, I'm going to provide my personal, you know, email address so that people can contact me and share their ideas or ask any, you know, ask help for support as well. So my name dot surname Bulent, BULENT .OZAN at SM .com.tr. That's my email address, and they can write me on anything at all.
Thank you so much. I saw Vesna commenting there. She was asking, how can people contact us as consultants?
Yeah. Well, they can as I said, they can contact me through my email address.
Yeah, or the website. I'm not sure whether Vesna was asking in general or they were asking about you. Vesna, would you mind clarifying that before we go offline? But this has been a very brilliant conversation, and I think it's quite mind-stimulating, which will cause other people to come out of their comfort zone. Ah, okay, so Vesna says she has gotten her answer. Thank you so much, Boris. Thank you very much, Vesna, for participating. And of course, thank you, Bulent Ozan, for coming through and for talking to our audience. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
God bless you, Dr. Mutoko. Thanks a lot for having me. And thank you, Vesna, Boris. Take care.
Okay, take care.
Bye.